Hello everyone, and in today's video I'm going to speak about how do you come to know if my UK visa is been refused. So I get this question quite often on, will I come to know beforehand if my visa has been refused? All different countries have different ways of informing you when you are refused visas. Some countries would just stamp on your passport to say you've been denied the visas, and there's no explanation at the back of it. In some countries like Canada, USA, they give you a handout, and there's about 8 to 10 of the reasons why they would have refused your application. It could be that you haven't given documentary evidence about your accommodation. So there would be a tick against that to say accommodation documents not been provided for, or there would be a tick against to say we don't see that you're a genuine visitor and you have reasons to come back, or there could be a tick to say you haven't given us the finance document, etc. So that's how they give you. So they give you a passport which doesn't have a denial stamp, or there's no refusal stamp on the passport when it comes to USA or Canada, but there's a handout which says, it's a very general handout, and it's given to the applicant to say this is the reason why we've been refused your visa application. But in UK, it's different. In UK, if there's a denial that happens, you get something called as a notice of immigration decision, which is your refusal notice. And in this notice of refusal, there's an explanation on what your case was all about, what are the immigration rules, and how and where did you not meet the immigration rules, and where are the concern areas or the apprehensions by the assessing officer where they don't feel confident to grant you the visas. So they will give you a very detailed reasoning, and which is more specific to your case on why you've been refused visas. Once you receive this reasoning, you then have an opportunity to either reapply. So for instance, they said that you're married, but we didn't see the marriage certificate, therefore we refuse your application. That makes you aware that you missed in giving a particular document. So what you can do is you can make a subsequent application with the marriage certificate, and that helps them to come up with the positive outcome for your application. Or you could challenge these decisions by applying for something like an administrative review if you have rights been given for administrative review under the notice of refusal. Or you could do an appeal proceedings. If you're allowed appeal rights under the notice of refusal, then you can appeal against the decision of the assessing officer with a first-tier tribunal. So there are options available. In some cases, there's nothing that's allowed. There's no administrative review. There's no appeal rights. Then you can possibly look into reapplying. Or if you think that you still are aggrieved with the decision made by the assessing officer, you can speak to a qualified solicitor or legal advisors to find out the potential to do an application for a judicial review. To sum up on how would you come to know if your UK visa application's been refused, it would generally be a write-up in form of a notice of immigration decision that you will receive from the authority along with your passport, and that will tell you the reasons on why they refused your application. Also be aware that there is a timelines by which you have to take the necessary steps. For instance, if there is an administrative review, you need to do this within 28 days. So is with the appeals. You need to action that within 28 days of you receiving the notice of immigration decision refusing your application. There's no other way that you can come to know whether you've been granted visas or you've been refused visas. Once you submit the application, you can track the application to find the status, the progress, to say that, have they made a decision or not, but they will never spell out on what decision have been made for your application. There's only one way to find that out, is when you receive the decision in your hand, when you've opted out for, say, courier, or sometimes they also email it to you to say that you've not been granted the visas. So I hope this video helps you to understand on, how do you find out whether you've been refused visas for the UK. Keep watching more such videos on our channel. and subscribe to it. Thank you.